Yes, everybody, what's happening? Welcome back to the XG File. Stephen Howson, Ronaldo Brown. I was going to tell him everything about something that's about to happen then, but I won't bother.
Why?
Keep it as a
Go
secret
on.
for the paddock guys.
What's going to happen?
Well, if I tell you now, I'm going to tell all them.
You can whisper it in my ear. Actually,
Not with a microphone, I can't.
Actually, I don't like that.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm decent, you know.
Kept my do-rag on for today's.
Do you know what? Yeah, I decided whether to go do-rag or hold up because, unfortunately, people, I'm going to watch along later as well, but my hair's not it. Obviously, as you know, my hair's getting done tomorrow. That's why I got a day off. So, basically, I thought I'd do-rag it up. Do you know what I mean? You got a problem with that?
No.
I'll ask people in the comments, actually, do-rag yes or no? Because some people say I actually look better with it on. Backhanded compliment.
Anyway. Jesus Christ. We wanted to listen to people talking about the fucking hairdo and watch Loose Women, wouldn't we? Right. So, the title's Harry Kane.
Jamie.
Why is the title not... What?
Someone said thought it was Jamie.
Why is the title not about Sir Jim and this little takeover? Well, I'll tell you. One, I'm going to do a video on it tomorrow. And two, I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance. Like, this sort of broke this morning, right?
Yeah.
I've just been filming with Ash. Banger, by the way. I would definitely recommend checking that one out tomorrow. But I haven't read up on it. And I'm not just going to go live and then, like, figure it out while I'm live what's going on. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, you want all the logistics.
I like to have
first.
my info.
Yeah, information. But from what we're hearing, it doesn't sound very good. Sounds a bit snaky in it from Jim.
My opinion on the very broad strokes of it is, this is the great Sir Jim, apparently. Remember that?
Yeah, the great Sir Jim.
The great Sir Jim. Here to save us.
Hasn't it looked like for a few weeks now we were kind of segueing towards more and more to the possibility of the Glazers trying to worm their way and staying?
Don't know. Because here's the truth, right? There's half a dozen bidders, or so we're led to believe, that could be serious, including a total ownership Qatar one. There's only two people talking. There's only two people that are bumping the gums and doing any sort of public sort of PR type stuff. So, on the face of what we can see.
Yeah.
Some of the anti-Qatar stuff will definitely be from Sir Jim's pals in the media.
Okay.
Some of the anti-Sir Jim stuff will definitely be from Qatar. And if they're not, what are they doing?
Exactly. Obviously, it's going to be like that, but...
And then obviously a lot of the pro-Qatar stuff will be from people who are pro-Qatar, and a lot of the pro-Jim stuff will be people who are anti-Qatar. That's the way it works. It's extremely political when it comes to the ownership of Manchester United.
Yeah, it is. And the broader strokes of it is, it seems as though the Qatar side of things still want to obviously garner complete control of Manchester United, like a full sale. And then Sir Jim Ratcliffe seems to be coming around to the idea of almost keeping the Glazers in it somehow. And... obviously, we know as United fans which side of the fence we're on in terms of that, but it just becomes a little bit like, because you've had your doubts about Sir Jim Ratcliffe anyway, but you've also had some of your doubts about Qatar.
The perfect ownership model for United, in my opinion, doesn't exist, or it's unrealistic.
So it's just almost
it's fantasy.
It's like the lesser of two evils, and even that's a little bit.
I don't even know if I'd call it that. I just think it is what it will be.
Yeah.
I didn't want the Glazers. 18 years later, we still got them. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what can I do? But I will obviously talk about my feelings on it. I'll try and give as balanced a view on this stuff as possible. I ain't got a dog in this fight. I got no qualms whatsoever. If it's Sir Jim, it's Sir Jim. If it's Qatar, it's Qatar. I think there's pros and cons with both of them. And I think it's up to you as an individual if you decide the pros outweigh the cons for this one, or if the pros outweigh the cons for this one. And I think it's an entirely personal sort of decision on that. And I don't think there's a right answer. Yeah. I think if you're saying it's got to be Qatar and it can't be Sir Jim, not sure that's the right answer. And if you're saying it can't be Qatar, it's got to be Sir Jim, I don't think that's correct either. I think there's shades of grey in a big way with this, and it depends on what colour you're looking at, I think. But one thing I can say for certainty, any reputation that Sir Jim had built up tickling people's asses with a feather over in Bayern United is gone if he enables the Glazers to stick around and fucking milk this club even longer.
And it's about, obviously, it just seems like we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and there's not been that kind of, like trigger announcement, something big, like a big development in this kind of ownership story, because obviously we know about the deadline tomorrow around 10.
Mate, they have more fucking deadlines than the fucking average uni assignment. Jesus Christ.
That's what I mean. Because ideally we wanted this ownership thing to be sorted out early as possible, so that whoever's in as the new owners could have time to kind of look at the squad, look at things, look where we end up, kind of plan. Because that's what we need. We need to plan towards the summer. Because I think at this tenure that we're at the moment, we've made progress this season. We have. There's been blips. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster at times, but we have made progress from last season. And we do seem to have a manager that could possibly return us to some level of consistent success.
Yep.
So I think the transfer window that we're arriving into, especially where you see where
it's pivotal,
it's pivotal. Where Chelsea,
absolutely pivotal.
I think in this rebuild it is really, really pivotal, because honest to God, I feel like if United get this transfer window correct and they start to fix things in the club that needed fixing for a long time, I think United are well on the way, as close to being well on the way as we have been in for a long time, of going towards a bit of a powerhouse that we should have always been anyway. Because obviously
it's pivotal, because Arsenal, as much as I'm saying that they've peaked, they might not. City, if they do the impossible this summer, Pep might cash in his chips.
Yeah,
that's always seems on the cards with him, doesn't it?
Yeah, he could always just dip out.
He could dip at any minute. It's weird. Liverpool will not be this shit again next year. Villa are in the mix. Brighton are in the mix. Spurs, they might be in the shit, in all honesty, because they need a lot.
Spurs are just Spurs.
But they'll be top half still, so there'll still be a problem. They'll still take points off the occasional team.
Top half.
Chelsea will not be as bad as they've been this year. No. I guarantee.
If they keep Frank, maybe.
So, and Newcastle are here to stay. So, all of that going on.
Could Brighton kick on? Or
you can't. I think Brighton could end up being a top 6 gatekeeper, like Everton were for a long time. Yeah,
do you, obviously, this is just a quick one. On the Brighton thing, do you think Brighton could just have a little bit of that? Because it is difficult for clubs like that to stay.
What they need to do.
We've seen it with Leicester, we've seen it with...
A little bit like Newcastle. What they got to do is get that Champions League football and then establish and almost win that 4th place trophy.
Yeah, Newcastle seem ahead of the curve though, don't they?
Yeah, but that's the threshold that you've got to get over, is getting... you can't go from being a Premier League team, because there was a minute where Brighton fans would have just been happy being a Premier League team. And I think that was a couple of years ago now. I think that they're now, okay, we're in this division, but we're not here to just make the numbers up now. What can we go do? They were gutted after losing a semi-final to us, and rightly so. Because they should be looking to, can we pick up a pot here and there? Can we get over the line in that? Can we now? They might have European football next year. That's an added complication. The squad is not that deep.
Yeah.
How do they cope with European football? We know how hard the Europa League is. It's like 900 games. Is that going to be something that affects Brighton next season? So as much as I'd like to say Brighton's so well run, I think they'll kick on, I don't, because I think they're going to lose their entire midfield.
Yeah.
And I think on the back of losing that entire midfield, they're due a mistake in the transfer window because they've been flawless. Not just statistics alone tells you that the next midfielder they sign is not going to be as good.
Yeah.
So, they've had so much success in the transfer market, they're bound to just fuck it up. Overthink it.
I do think Brighton eventually, this is probably their season.
And then you add that to the Europa League. Now, if they survive that and they can finish like 6th or 7th again next season, consolidate, then you've got that base to jump from, and then you could maybe try and push for the Champions League.
But what the matter is, the Premier League season this season has been relatively poor in terms of level from the top teams. It has been. It won't be like that next season. Obviously, we said Chelsea will be better, Liverpool will be better, City will just be as strong.
Might have been better.
Yes.
Pep's actually gone through quite a few little fucking turns this season tactically.
Exactly. Tottenham will be better. Newcastle will be stronger. So United look as though they're going to finish 3rd in a relatively poor Premier League season anyway.
Might as well be solid.
Do you know what I mean? So this is why we need to hit properly in this transfer window. And I think that's what...
If we stumble this summer because we've not figured out who owns the club, so everyone's just done nothing.
That's my worry, because what entices the majority of people at Qatar is that Qatar seem very, very ambitious in terms of where they want to take the club and impact. And that obviously, fans will warm towards that, because the reason you support your club is you want to see it be successful.
Of course, yeah. So
Qatar seem to have that kind of ambition with big signings, obviously changing the infrastructure at United, the training ground, stuff that the ground, things that have not been done that needed doing for a long time now. I think people are kind of warming towards that. With the Glazers still in charge, we have literally no belief in them whatsoever of them ever kind of bringing those things to United. So I think it's a situation where if they kind of do this little merger thing that they've got going on with Sir Jim, it's just going to be a massive kind of flattener, I think, in terms of going to the window. It will,
because you've honey-dicked us that you might leave.
Yeah.
You've got us all excited. We've got the sausage rolls on order. You know what I mean? Victoria Warehouse has been blocked off.
Overrated, by the way, sausage rolls.
What?
Sausage rolls are incredibly overrated. Don't see the allure.
I don't know where I go now. What? How are sausage rolls overrated?
Not for a sausage roll. It's controversial, I know, but I thought I'd put it out there.
How'd you have a sausage roll party without sausage rolls?
I just won't go to it.
You have to. Glazers are gone. It's green and gold. Sausage rolls.
Nah.
Fucking hell.
Nah.
Wow.
Nah.
Anyway, before you absolutely derail my thinking, they've dick teased us. We're going. There's bids. We're up for sale. There's deadlines. There's stock exchange people involved. Kieran Maguire's done about 900 podcasts about it. You know, the Swiss Ramble have all spoke about it. Everyone's thrown their 2p in. Sky Cover has spoken in really awkward sentences that don't mean anything a lot. Like, there's so much gone on. There's so much water under the bridge that if they go, psych, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Obviously,
I will be in Tampa tonight.
Allegedly. Yeah, listen.
Fucking.
Do you know what it is? Because obviously we saw the protest that was all that season with people storming the pitch and Old Trafford.
And that was just Super League.
And that was just to do with Super League. So imagine he stayed. I just can't. It'd be such a flattener because of everything.
That's going to look like a dust up at a family barbecue. What happened last year?
It literally will. Do you know, because we're talking about Newcastle. Newcastle, with the Glazers in charge of United, if we get this summer wrong, I can see Newcastle closing the gap on United very quickly, because they seem to be doing that whole thing of they're doing it properly.
They're doing it smart.
Doing it smart. Do you know what I mean? And I think,
when we first heard, because
yeah.
When they first got took over, they was like, we're going to fucking sign them back here, mate. And you're like, good. That's what I want. I want lottery winner in a kebab shop going bananas. That's what I want, right? When you hear, we heard they were looking at getting Ralph Rangnick, you go, oh shit. There's football people involved here, because there's only a football mind goes, this is who we need to help set this club up. And then what have you heard they've done since? They've upgraded the training ground. They've invested in like sports psychology, strength and conditioning.
Science, scouting.
They've just boxed off the entire back room. And they'll start pushing the envelope with that sort of shit soon.
And then they get Champions League football, which then...
Without any mega signings.
But the thing is...
who's their biggest signing since they've had the Saudis?
It's out.
It was pretty...
60 mil.
60 mil. Okay. That's not nuts though. These Premier League teams that buy players at that price.
It's not, and he's paid off. He's been fucking quality. Yeah. So the thing is with Newcastle are pretty much, they're a club with history. They're a big enough club where I think they have just about enough allure where they could entice players that previously wouldn't go there without the European football to go there. I think Newcastle United, on the trajectory they're on, obviously what the owners are.
We fucked this up, didn't we? We sat here and said we're not going to talk about the owners. We're going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about Harry Kane.
And
instead, we need a new thumbnail, because we're just going to keep going like this. Now, fuck it, we're in. We are in.
This is actually. We'll talk about Kane, but I just personally believe now when when an agent says to their lucrative European footballer and says, Newcastle are in for you, they're not scoffing at that anymore because they've got Champions League football. They can offer you big dosh.
I heard something last night, and let me just Google and see if this is in the public domain.
Yeah.
Hang on.
You checking if this is in the public?
I'm just going to check if it's in the public domain because I don't know if it is.
I'll look at the comments then. People still giving me grief about that sausage roll thing. One person agreed with me though. Sausage roll is incredibly overrated. Not gonna lie, probably haven't had one in 2 years. Do you know what though? Whatever happened with the FFP investigation into City, Nigel Thompson, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is obviously it's bittersweet because we was watching Arsenal City yesterday and we watched Arsenal get absolutely schooled. But unfortunately, it looks more and more likely that City could win the treble. So basically, the only good situation that comes out of this, because Arsenal are a fucking annoying club and their fans are probably the most unbearable in the Premier League, is if City do win the title, we just got to hope that FFP does bite them in the arse and they all get rescinded.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't think what I heard is in the public domain. So, I'm going to put it in the public domain.
Okay, go on.
Newcastle had and have shelved plans, but those plans are only on the shelf because they might come back. When the Saudis first took over Newcastle, they were worried about the impact of Newcastle being based in Newcastle in terms of attracting players. They made plans, which they shelved because it must be in the public domain. If they said the fans kicked off about it, it must be public domain. But I just Googled it and it's not there. So the fans kicked off, so they shelved the plans, but the plans haven't completely gone away. There is a chance that these plans still happen. Okay. And that is Newcastle was going to build a training ground in Manchester and then just travel to Newcastle for their games because they're closer to all of their... So all the players can live around Manchester, where there's obviously a big footballer community. All the Liverpool ones live in Manchester.
Yeah, pretty much.
Obviously all the Manchester ones live in Manchester. All the Newcastle ones would then live in Manchester, where it's a little bit more attractive. It's still not quite London level of attraction, but it's more attractive than Newcastle. They're closer for all of their away games because it's obviously a big old drive. There's nothing up there in that you can go and play against. You're easier for transport to London and stuff like that, but then when they've got home games, they would just go. But the fans kicked off about it, so they put the plans on the shelf. Now, as they get to Champions League football, if they get rejected by a couple of players on location, they're going to open that training ground in Manchester. How mad's that?
That's insane. You won't get De Jong though. You don't like Manchester. So that won't work for him.
Isn't that crazy?
That's pretty crazy though.
And that might be smart though. And I understand Newcastle people going, how the fuck are you going to connect with this city? If
you're basically saying your city is too shit to entice.
Yeah. It doesn't project a good message for them, but ultimately, I understand the location of your training ground in real terms does not need to be directly in the city that you're in. It doesn't. It just doesn't. I understand you wanting people to buy into the place though. So I can understand the fans' rejection of that.
Okay.
But you got to weigh it up. And if you say, listen, we could get Mbappe, but he ain't going to fucking live in Newcastle.
Yeah, he's obviously not going to want to live in Newcastle. So yeah, I don't think they're going to be getting Mbappe levels. Obviously, them getting Bruno Guimaraes was a big coup anyway. They followed up with Isak. I think there's a good chance that if Leicester do get relegated, that they probably do end up signing Maddison, who they were chasing in Jan, but got rejected.
Great signing for them as well.
And they'll probably get him a little bit cheaper.
If I look at what that Newcastle team lacks, like I said, I think Arsenal may be approaching peak, where what I said about Spurs a couple of years ago is, when you look at their team... Are you sure?
Because Arsenal almost looked like a complete different team defensively and in build-up when Saliba doesn't play though, and that's just one player.
Okay.
And other than that, it was pretty much their strongest 11.
So here's what I'll say. So when I say peaked, I'm not necessarily talking in the age sense the way Liverpool had peaked, which was obvious. It was obvious, and there's like articles about how overripe a lot of their players were. When I looked at that Spurs team that got to the Champions League final, at the time I said I think this team has peaked, because like if you look at United right now, I go, what do you need? You've got a list for me. Oh, you get this, you get this, you get this. Chilling. Get a striker with chilling. Like all of those things you can say about United. Outside of maybe upgrading Xhaka for Declan Rice, which I believe is on the cards.
Okay.
Outside of that, how are you massively upgrading this Arsenal team?
Signing a striker.
Really?
I watched Jesus yesterday. He's not a striker.
Okay, so they've got that £50 million striker. Are they going to get another 50? But here's my point is, with Spurs, I said you're going to have to spend 200 million to improve this team, to go get someone that definitely improves this team. I think it's hard for Arsenal to improve. I think it's harder for Arsenal to improve what they've got massively than it is for United.
Yeah.
And then you've got the added pressure, you've got the Champions League football, you've got all of those factors. Yeah. That's why I think they've peaked a little bit. I think it's harder to improve them. Now, you definitely can improve them. You could easily improve them. Like Bellingham for Xhaka, way better team.
It's true, but you know what? Their capitulation now, Arsenal, seems to be on one of the things that a lot of people have been praising them for. I've been talking about them being a really young squad, really young team, so saying that they're only going to get better.
But that's not the truth.
But it looked like the past few weeks is the fact that they were quite young is the reason why they've capitulated. They look like they've kind of... When you was watching yesterday, does that not look like a team that just seemed to... a bit nervous, a bit nervous.
I think it was tactically naive. They were so open.
Do you not think? I don't think it was just that. I think it was like a mental thing. They looked like they didn't think they had it in them. You know, like the minerals.
I almost think it's easy to blame.
City look like they've been there before. Do you know what I mean? And Arsenal look like they haven't. That's the vibe I got.
There was a nice ruthlessness to City's play that Arsenal just couldn't even spell.
Yeah,
but there was things like I think tactically they got. I think Pep tactically did them. I think him and I think Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne kind of both sort of occupying Partey just meant Partey didn't have a fucking clue what day it was, and he offered zero protection because he was kind of like dealing with both and then dealing with none, and then consequently doing jack shit and just not stopping anything. Didn't know whether to go. Or do I get an Odegaard? Or do I like? They just didn't have a fucking clue what day it was and where he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I thought using Haaland to come deeper and then have...
They were quite direct to him yesterday,
yeah,
right?
And then having Kevin De Bruyne run off him was
mint.
From a tactical point of view, I thought that was class.
I think it was just because they said Arsenal pressed really well. So that's why they... And fucking hell, Holding got dealt with. But I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking, all right, so where Arsenal are at right now is you don't think that they'll improve?
I think people... Here's my thing. Everyone's going, they're so young, they'll definitely improve. I don't necessarily think that's the case.
Are you going to go on a whim right now and say Arsenal outside the top 4 next season?
Well, I don't know if you've heard, but I just said on mine and Ash's pod, I'm willing to take a bet. Not for a laptop, because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. Who's that shot?
I don't know. But I did say I am... willing to take a bet, nice sportsman's bet, 20 quid or something, where I don't think they'll finish top 4 next season.
Don't you?
No, I think it'll be United, Newcastle, City, Liverpool.
United to win it?
No, I'm not necessarily giving the order. I think United come second after a closer title challenge. I think City get 4 in a row.
City 4 in a row?
If they don't win the Champions League this year, because otherwise, if they win the Champions League this year, I think Pep's off skis. And then City come in and take Arteta. How funny would that be? Right, anyway, Julio Leschi has dropped in a super chat. He says, Steve, by the way, you and Rio entered 5 last night looking smug as hell, and how Rio left it with a pundit answer for Arsenal and laughed Joel is the funniest thing I've seen this season. It was good times.
No, that's pretty funny. Someone says, no Chelsea in the top 4 next season.
No. But again, they can run it close. Chelsea and Arsenal will both run it close.
Do you want to have a little bit of a chat on with the comments about Lampard? Because I know you've been onto him for a long, long time.
What's the comments about Lampard?
No, it's just you've been about the fact that Chelsea have lost 5 in a row.
Lampard's won 1 of his last 19. What was that, about 5%? 4%?
How did he get... you know what? Bowley's hilarious. The thing is, people are saying no Chelsea in the top 4, but it probably won't happen because Bowley doesn't seem to have a clue. And Lampard seems to be the worst manager that's ever existed. Like, he doesn't seem to motivate players. His lineups are uninspiring, and he's tactically inept as well.
Think about this, right? If we've not had a great season as Paddock, we're going to finish solid mid-table, and we're a bit disappointed with that. And there's been some factors and reasons behind that. But imagine I was flip-flopping the formation every single week, you'd be sitting there going, this cunt ain't got a clue.
Yeah, you would. You'd just think. I saw a tweet saying that you'd probably get a couple of wins, a couple more wins than needed. I reckon you would have.
I would have done.
Because the reason
Keep it simple.
The reason I mention this is because Chelsea are playing Arsenal next, and as bad as Arsenal have been, as bad as Chelsea have been, I still thought a while ago when I saw the fixtures that I feel like Chelsea are going to turn up against Arsenal.
Yeah,
it's a derby.
You're saying they're shit enough to beat them.
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's a derby. They've got good enough players. Arsenal will win a little bit, and it just would make me laugh if the one game that they finally get a win is going to be against Arsenal.
Like, they brought Aubameyang off the bench last night. I mean, he's even training.
Aubameyang's off it. He's miles off it. He's got a gold Lambo. What do you expect? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe that's what we do.
Maybe
we go, right, lads, what I want you to do, I'm going to go in my office. Yeah, this is all right. So, actually, we're going to need your guys' help. Me and Ash have actually pitched for the Chelsea job because we want that severance pay. That's what we want. Because I reckon Todd Boehly is about 20 minutes away from sacking someone at half-time and taking over the second half.
Do you think Graham Potter really cared about being sacked?
Nah. It'd be like, listen, you're getting a bullet. It'd be like, oh, hang on. I've got a 6-year contract.
I think the payout. I think the payout worth of Potter was nearly like 30 million.
Oh.
But obviously, he isn't going to get all of that. But
yeah, you only get all of that if you never work again.
Yeah.
Which is, I'd happily never work again.
Yeah,
well, how much?
Wait.
But even if you put me in as an interim, you're getting a couple of
But
mil.
if you're getting given that much, you don't need to work again.
No, you don't. But then there's professional pride. No, Graham Potter was a great manager onto things. It wasn't the right move for him.
But
obviously,
but he'll still get another job though. He might get the Arsenal job when Arteta gets sacked. You know, the Arteta out shirts are coming soon.
We should sell them.
Do you know what I mean? I should have worn one.
Anyway, yeah, so me and Ash on today's pod, which you guys will get to see tomorrow, we pitched ourselves as a managerial duo, like the two lads at Salford were, for the Chelsea job. And I reckon you've just stumbled upon a great way to select the team. Say, right, lads, go park all your cars in a car park. I'm going to wait in my office so I don't see.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do, I'm going to walk out into the car park. I'm going to pick my team based on what your car is. And do you know what? Still better than Lampard. That method of picking my team is... Right, what we're going to do, we're going to go 4-3-3. And then I'm just going to pick... Right, that looks like a left-back's car. So I'm going to go this... BMW, right? Who's this? Kante puts his hand up. Well, that's unfortunate, but you're playing left back. Right.
No, Kante's fucking drives him in Cuba, doesn't he?
So, yeah, that's how we're picking a team.
Okay.
Gold Lambo's not getting picked.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's not getting picked. But me and Ash have pitched, so if you want to help...
Are you that anti-nice cars thing, the way that...
It's not a nice car thing.
Because Rooney said something similar. He made a comment about...
Memphis Depay turned up in a two-tone... Rolls Royce, I think.
And he didn't like it.
No.
Just gave a wrong impression.
But Terry Sheringham used to drive a Ferrari to train in. Andy Cole used to drive a Aston Martin DB9 to train in. At the Cliff, which is Salford.
Nah, it's all right if you perform. Like, come on, I think if you play for United, I think you're borderline. Not untouchable, but near enough. Do you reckon? Or someone always plotting?
Not sure. Nigel Thompson says... Howson, weren't you just mentioning how Brighton had aligned their team and recruiting and transfers to ensure developing players that fit regardless of coaching and transfers out, they'll be okay? Yeah, but there's only so much in a well. Do you know what I mean? Some of the players that they've recruited have been sensational. If they lose McAllister and Caicedo this year, which is what I'm hearing might be a thing.
Finger just signed a new deal, though.
Yeah, Ferguson did, yeah, which is a shame.
That doesn't necessarily mean he's staying. It just means his price is probably doubled.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe they put a release clause in it for him.
That's probably a lot to do with it. I think Brighton have done that for that reason.
Jack, maybe. Yeah. Jack with a super chat says, "Are you having a good Denver day?" I didn't realise it was.
Slippy. No, it's Slippy. It's 9-year anniversary or something along.
Peter Kelly says, "Imagine the scenes if we finish second now. Arsenal have Chelsea and Brighton home and away." To Newcastle and Forest.
And the issue with Forest, they're going away to Notts Forest, who are fighting for their lives. And Steve's told me about a stat about end of season and how teams at the top form on points per game declines, mid-table goes up a bit, and all the teams at the bottom.
No, the teams at the bottom kind of stay the same.
Yeah.
Wigan skewed this a few years back, didn't they, when they won
teams at the
games
top
and got themselves safe. Yeah, teams at the top drop, and I think you can probably explain that by Champions League qualification done.
Yeah.
Or the league done, because Fergie used to throw people just used to walk past his office and get a fucking game by the end of the season because we'd wrap the league up. So I think there's a little bit of that. But yeah, mid-table teams, it goes up. So it's weird. It's like the teams that have nothing to play for, supposedly, in mid-table, they pick up points. I think it's a pressure thing.
They're just playing relaxed.
Yeah.
Easy. But I don't know. The point is, I did look at the points difference between us and Arsenal to see whether we could catch them if their form does proper tail off, because obviously their next few games look like they could possibly drop points.
Well, that's it. Yeah, they could go into a mental tailspin now. If they get beat again by Chelsea, fucking hell.
And then I think they've got Wolves at the end of the season. Wolves have found a little bit of form as well, and Wolves definitely have enough to hurt him.
Oh, we did a poll. Are you worried about Poch at Chelsea? No, 78%. Hey, listen, I want to talk to you guys about Whoop. Leave it back on the background, mate. Yeah, there we go. We keep it on the background for this. Just so, right, if you're looking for a way to optimise your fitness and recovery routines, then you need to get on the Whoop. I'm rocking the Desert Camouflage one today. It's one of my favourite ones. Let's go solo on this one, please. There we go. Boom. There we go. Solo. Desert Cam one. It's a wearable fitness tracker that measures biometric data. It's looking at your heart rate variability, your sleep quality, the workout intensity, and it can help you get the most out of your workouts. Is it day 27 today?
Yes.
Day 27 today. I haven't done my workout for today. 27 days deep. We've got a community of about 100 people that are in there, which has been wicked, seeing everyone cope with it. And I've stumbled a few times this month. The whole idea of the month was 30 minutes of exercise for 30 days, just getting into like a proper decent routine before summer. And I have stumbled a couple of times, and I've been saved by the fact that it's just 30 minutes. So you just go for a walk. So you just literally wait. Janine works of an evening, so I wait for her to get home and then just go for a walk. Or because I've got the mobility in my ankles of Stonehenge, I can do, I've got a mobility thing that I do. So I can do my mobility thing, which I do most mornings actually, so I'm usually covered for the day. Now, I don't mentally count that as a workout because it's kind of just stretching, but it's saved me sometimes when I've had mad days that I've not been able to get it done. But just 30 minutes, the whole idea of what I was trying to do was just establish some routine. But Whoop have just started adding some madness. So normally when I do like weight training session, I'll only get like a 4 on the strain. Strain measures how hard that you've worked. My mate Farky did a marathon. He got a 19 strain. It's out of 21. So it shows you it's so incremental. It's harder to get from 2 to 3 than it is 0 to 1. Like you get a 4 on the strain just by getting dressed in the morning. But then if you want to go from 4 to 8, you're gonna have to do a workout to get close to that. But they've just added something called Strength Trainer. So all of your sets, all of your reps, all that even timing the rest in between sets, you can do it all within the app now. And that's only just been released this last week. And I've been checking that out, having a go at that. And I did my push session. I was meant to do it Tuesday, but I did it yesterday. I switched my days. I did my push session yesterday, and I got a 10.8 strain on it. And I was like, fucking hell. I've got to run for half an hour to get a strain. So really interesting now, I can envisage Whoop doing some crazy shit going forward. I think there's going to be AI involved in sort of all of this lot. I reckon all they need to do is start putting your meal stuff on there. They'll eliminate MyFitnessPal. There's so much in the Whoop thing, and what it does is it gamifies you into checking your score in the morning. What's my recovery? What did my strain get to? And honestly, it's really I've had this for nearly 3 years. And one of the reasons why I don't like drinking as regularly as I used to is because I see my recovery the next day. I see what it does to my heart rate. And you just go, I don't want to do that. So if you're interested in getting in a mixer, there's a link in the description. This challenge ends on Sunday. And I think most people have got there or thereabouts of it. This challenge ends on Sunday, but we're going to be doing challenges probably every other month with Whoop. Like I said, I've used it for 3 years. So when we actually connected with Whoop and we agreed to do it, I was fucking buzzing. I'm like, shit, this is something that I've worn for ages. Like the amount of comments I've had off people like, why is Steve wearing 2 watches? It doesn't have a watch face. It's literally just an elastic band. And then it's got that sensor in it, which is just tracking everything on you. It's absolutely mega. So check it out. Link is in the description. And come get in the mixer because we're going to be doing another one. This was easy. It was meant to be easy. It was meant to be a proper introductory thing. Because I'm going to be honest, don't think I'm no fucking Men's Health cover model, right? The whole idea of it was to just be like, look, anyone can fucking get in the mix with this. Next one, I think we're going to try and do a Tough Mudder or something like that. And see what sort of strain that leaves on us and all the training that comes up with that stuff. So, yeah. What you guys saying in the comments? Someone said Jemba Jemba. Don't know what the context of that is.
Jemba Jemba. Oh, he's not talking about me. Could be.
Jack says, bring Ronaldo to the next live gig in Dublin. We'll have a load of sausage rolls for him. Ace Podcast Nation says sausage rolls are rank, bro.
The thing is, I actually have seen a couple of people back me up, so it's not as controversial as I thought. But yeah, sausage rolls, overrated. Do you know what it is? It might be a little bit of a cultural thing.
Marty says, I've got a dog in this fight. I want investment in all areas, no debt. That's Qatar and no one else. I think it's a valid attitude.
Yeah, it is a valid attitude. I can't lie to you. It is enticing, as I mentioned earlier, about the fact that you are going to get an owner that's ambitious and wants to do everything to take the club forward, which is not what we're going to get with the Glazers and seemingly not what we're going to get with Sir Jim Ratcliffe either. But I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe, we've seen in part his ownership of Nice, and there wasn't much of his ownership of Nice that gave you any confidence that he was ready to own United anyway.
In fact, the opposite.
Exactly. So I think a lot of people, the people that supported him were just really anti, obviously, being state-owned. I think that was kind of where a lot of the Jim Ratcliffe crowd came from, because in terms of his actual
I don't want to be
credentials.
I don't want to be state-owned.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I don't. I can say that completely clean consciously. I don't want to be state-owned. There is some talk that the Qatar bid is Sheikh Jassim's alone.
Yeah.
I don't fucking believe it.
Nah.
Like, it'd be like, Steve's buying United. Where's he got that money from? Well, he's good at maths and that.
Yeah, probably.
Just what I mean?
Owns a bank. Everyone keeps asking me where I got this hoodie from, and literally, I got this hoodie from H&M. This hoodie was in H&M, and I got it for around, I think it was like £15 at most. I don't think they sell anymore though, so I can't lie to you. You might have lost out.
It's a Metallica hoodie, right? So I got a video sent to me earlier from Sam that's in the Architects. The Architects are supporting Metallica tonight, playing at Ajax Amsterdam Arena, or the Johan Cruyff Arena, as I believe it's actually named.
Small world.
Yeah, mad that, innit?
Yeah.
You're out here wearing hoodies, couldn't name a single beat of one song.
Nope.
And we got Sam, our mate, who's out there supporting them on stage tonight.
Yeah.
In the fucking Ajax Arena. How mad's that?
The people still have a problem with the fact that I wear this hoodie quite often, and it's one of my favourite hoodies, and I've never in my life heard a Metallica song before. Just thought it was a really cool design and a cool hoodie.
Listen to Unforgiven Metallica. That might be some funny shit, you know. Is exposing Ronnie to some different music. Metallica being one of them would be an interesting bit of content, I reckon.
Yeah, probably.
Righty then, we are going to wrap it up. Cheers to everyone for tuning in with us. I guess we'll do a video on the ownership tomorrow.
I was going to say, before you go, should just
so what's going on with Kane?
Straight yes or no.
What's going on with Kane? What is the news?
It's Kane's playing today, and it looks as if this could be his United audition, because reports over the last couple of days have mentioned
if he genuinely
Kane
wanted a United audition, he pulls up tonight.
Yeah,
and doesn't play.
Exactly, and Kane. People seen as Kane being it seems more and more. It smells like, as you mentioned, a number one target for us.
Feels like it, but I think United are working on a few different things. So last week, me and Ash went and visited Stockport, right?
Yeah.
Stockport in playoff places in League Two, which I wasn't aware. No one had gone up from National League and League Two straight back to back. It's not been done.
It's tough.
Or not been done in like 30 years or something.
Tough
like
down there.
So we were saying to them, how do you guys go, knowing that you've got playoffs? How do you guys go about planning for next season? Do you just keep going, oh, listen, we want to be in the championship or higher. So do you just try and get players that could play in the championship? Is that the game? And he said, we've got about 4 different plans on the cards. Like for all sorts. Like, what's the budget going to be? Because the budget changes if you go up. If you don't go up, the budget's going to change for that. So, like, you have to come up with all eventualities. United have got to do the same thing. If it's going to be the Glazers, like, you have to go, like, Richard Arnold has to go to the Glazers and go, look, you fucking gimps are still here come summer. What can we spend? And the answer might be fuck all, mate, because we're trying to get out. That might be the answer. That might legitimately be the answer. Then you've got to plan on the totally, like, unknown scenarios of, well, what if it's Jim Radcliffe? Well, the guy's got no fucking dough. What if it's someone that invests into the Glazers to keep them around? Then what? Or what if it's Qatar? So United have got to go and do like 6 times the work of what we would do for a normal summer. It could be an absolute shit show this year.
Nah, it could, but in the end, Kane, yes or no, before we go. And then everyone in the comments say yes or no for Harry Kane.
Yeah, probably would.
I'm saying yeah as well, you know. I can't lie. If you actually want to go look, me and Steve did a head-to-head probably a couple of weeks ago on Kane and Osimhen, and he can't explain why Kane probably is the guy, as old as he is. But yeah, we've covered Kane now, so you don't have to do. Can you cover the owners tomorrow?
Well, what the fuck am I going to talk about tomorrow now? Is Wan-Bissaka better than Porro? He's a better right back than fucking Pedro Porro. He's shit. Oh, that's going back to haunt me tonight.
He's going to come back to haunt you.
Because
he's good. He's good going forward,
no,
but defensively,
he's fucking shit. He's fucking shit.
I can't believe they started a back 4 with Porro, who's as wing back as you can get, and then
who else was at centre half? Because they had Christian.
It was Dyer.
Was it Dyer? You sure it was Dyer?
Was it Davis?
No, it wasn't Davis. I can't remember. They're fucking shit. Like,
and then Perisic, he's a winger who plays wing back. He's not a left back. Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
Jeez.
Cheers for tuning in. See you the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.